Well, what do we have here? Stick around, then maybe I'll show you. Okay, so what do we have here? First of all, I was planning on doing this whole video in Slavic accent better than some other fake Russians. However, I'm not going to put you through that. So anyway, let's see what we got. This is a Kalashnikov USA KP-9 done up in the form of a Russian Vityaz. It's in 9mm, it is semi-automatic, and this one is highly modified, as you can probably tell. Give you some little close-ups here. Most of these parts are Zenitco. They came from Ivan the Bear Tactical. These are pretty popular right now. They're also pretty expensive compared to the Palmetto State alternative. But if you spend a couple extra bucks, these are actually the true-to-life original clone of KP-9s. Or Vityaz, sorry. So much so that the earlier models had problems with these dust covers cracking, and the actual Vityaz had the exact same problem in the exact same spot. So as far as one-to-one copies go, there you go. So anyway, MSRP on these right now, if you look around, I've seen them for as little as $9.99. Mine was $10.99. Mine actually came from Classic Firearms. The Kalashnikov USA brace was out of stock, so this actually came from Atlantic. The EOTech 512, this wasn't even supposed to happen. This actually was a friend at an interview at an academy discovered that these were on clearance. Normally $459 or $479. They were going out the door for $244 after tax. So naturally, I took off of work early and got one. For these, for what I call Ruski parts, the stuff from Ivan the Bear Tactical, I will leave a detailed list at the end of the video in case you want it. Price will be in rubles, but you know, let's just say that this magwell, this extended bolt catch, or bolt handle, the angled hand stop, which is also Ruski, as you can see. Let's see what else came from them. The upper and lower handguard. What else? I think that was it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, I think these are all the parts I got from them. I'll leave a list at the end of the video, so if you want these, it'll have all the part numbers and you know where to get them. The amazing thing is I had 2 friends buy the same gun. They ordered the same parts. Some of them took 6 to 8 weeks to get their parts. I got these in 9 days, from the day I ordered it to the day it showed up to my house. 9 days. So, Ivan, thanks. Magazines came from Kalashnikov USA. Compared to the AKV, they're quite expensive. So if you get the AKV, I believe it MSRP is at $8.99. Good luck trying to find one right now because they're like the hottest thing out there at PSA's website and they're out of stock. Their magazines are, I believe, Scorpion clones, and they're 15 bucks. Kalashnikov USA mags are true to the original. They're 30 rounders instead of the 35s at PSA. And they are, I think they're 40 bucks a piece. That kind of hurt. But if you go to KUSA, they have a 5-pack of these, and sometimes it shows up as a back order. Go ahead and put the order in, because I bought these on the back order and they shipped out within 48 hours. And they were at my house 48 hours after that, so not a big deal. Also, if you use the code KUSA10, you get 10% off. So this 5-pack is basically $180. after shipping. Or at least for me it was. So what did I want to go on about? Everything on this rifle is real except this. Some of y'all are going to spot that. Your eagle-eyed viewers, you're going to say, oh my god, why did you put that fake thing on there? It's a fake PEC 15. I'm just going to get that out of the way right now. And the only reason I put this on here is because it had a 300 lumen flashlight, which is sort of close to what the original Spetsnaz use. And I just thought it was kind of neat. It's going to be able to hold up to the recoil of 9mm. Like, I don't take this seriously, so you shouldn't either. I just stuck it on there. These handrails, these are just, you know, your generic handrails or rail covers. The only reason I put these on here are these are sharp. So it was on the recommendation of a friend to put these on there. So they're on there, and it does help. So let's go over some of the features. Other than the Zenitco stuff that I put on here, I went with the ALG-AKT EL trigger. These require very little fitment. So if you install this and you put the safety on and you flip it up and you pull the trigger and it still goes off, you got to use the roll pins that come with the kit. You hammer it down into the right side of the new trigger and file it down until this works just enough to lock the trigger. Like, this has zero give. When I stopped working that pin and I flipped this up, that's where it stayed. Rock solid. So it's like I nailed it right on the first time. Perfect. It also comes with, I think my friend called it the coward spring, but what it does is it puts back pressure on the trigger, or I think on the trigger. I didn't install that. Without that, this thing is ridiculously fast to shoot. I believe the trigger pull on this was 2.1 pounds. I mean, it was nothing. So I was going to do a full-on how I put this all together video, but peer pressure, my friends who got the same gun, they wanted to see me put it together on camera last night, so I didn't do it. However, what I will share with you is how to do it if you do it. So when I give you all the parts list and if you order all this stuff for yours and you put it on there, let me give you some advice on how to do the install. Essentially what you want to do is you want to start from here and work your way back with the parts. This goes on last. Don't put this on first. This is the first thing that showed up in all the parts I ordered, and it took everything I had not to put this on the day I got it. I was like, nope, hold out, just don't do it. So anyway, all right, tips on how to do this. The instruction manual that comes with the KP-9 is incredibly detailed. It's in color, it even has arrows, and it shows you how to like swing your hand and everything to take things apart. So when you take this upper handguard off, anybody who owns an AK knows you flip this up, you twist it, and there's like a flat spot on it, and then this pops up and out. Once you get that out, this half shell plastic that usually goes here, it's going to require a bit of force. So what you're going to do is you're going to hold it back here. I used an all-16ths adjustable wrench wrapped in electrical tape. And I stuck it in the hole and just had it catch this lip here. And then you grab that clamshell and you squeeze as hard as you can and you twist it. And what's going to happen is it's going to rotate within these two pieces of metal, and then it just pops out. This new piece just floats in here until you lock everything down. So like these little metal retainers on either side, they don't actually do anything anymore. But that's cool because this is actually bolted to the lower. So in the order I did this, I actually started with the lower first. And basically all you do is you slide it on. Well, sorry, the first thing you do is there's a little rod here. You flip it all the way around, and then the original lower handguard comes off. That's got to stay forward. You put the new one on, you slip it in, and then I stood the gun up without the brace on. So I had steel back here, and I had a big block of wood behind it. And what you're gonna want to do, which is included with these instructions, is you take your giant all-16ths adjustable wrench and you just lay it over both of these two spots here on either side of the barrel. Wrap your all-16ths in lots of electrical tape because you don't want to scratch or mar up any of your finish, right? So you just want it there, and you're using it like a bucking bar. And you take a BFH and you beat the ever-living hell out of this that way. And what's going to happen is this is going to start forming itself into the steel receiver, because this is aluminum and it's oversized on purpose to be a tight fit into here. And you start beating on this, and you don't have to, you got to hit it pretty hard. I hit it hard enough to hit my knuckle, and it hurt like a sumbitch. But anyway, you start hitting it into there. After about maybe 7 or 8 hits, try to flip this lever by hand. If it goes all the way down, you're done. If it stops, keep beating this in. Flip the lever back over, beat it in a couple more hits, try it again. As soon as this flips tight, flat, going that way, you're done. You don't have to hit this anymore. Just enough to get that to flip over. This then clips over the top, and there's 4 screws that are included that fit into the lower. They're tapered so it centers it and keeps it a nice tight fit. You don't need Loctite for these. Upper's done. Good. Flip this back, you're done. This, pretty simple. It has dovetails on either side. It slides right over the magwell. It's got 2 set screws back here. Now, my friend has a modification for this, because the paddle back here is a bit hard to manipulate with this magwell. He cut a half moon all the way around to let this backside be wide open. That way your thumb just goes right in, nice and easy. According to him, that's how they do it in Ruski also. So that's an option if you want to do it. I'm kind of on the fence on doing it, but I probably will eventually. This bolt handle, you're going to want to do this with the bolt out. So takedown is exactly the same as any other AR. You want to flip the front leaf side up. You want to push this in. The top flips open. It is spring loaded. The reason you want to flip this forward is so this doesn't smack into the leaf and leave 2 little marks over here. Let that go out. Pull the recoil spring out. Pull the bolt out. Once you got the bolt out, this is actually 5 pieces. So you got this cap, there's 2 pieces of formed aluminum, and there's 2 Allen set screws. So once you get the bolt out, you take the 2 pieces of aluminum, you sandwich them in there in the correct orientation, because it only fits one way. You jiggle the cap over the top until it centers and bottoms out, and then you put the set screws in on either side. This is the only part you need to blue Loctite. If you do not do that, this will work its way out. It'll either fly back and hit you in the face, or it's going to go forward, go down range. Make sure you do that, or you just wasted about 15 bucks if you can't find it after it ejects itself. Alright, so once that's in, leave the bolt out of the gun. You want to take the hammer out, you want to take the trigger out. It's these 2 pins here. What you're going to want to do, there's a really good video already out on YouTube on how to put in an ALG trigger. I highly recommend you check it out. But in short, take the little springs, you hook them over the back of the hammer. What I used was a empty 12 gauge hull, slid it over so it didn't snap back and, you know, snake bite you in the finger. Then twist the hammer 90 degrees, pull it out of the gun. And then there's a retaining plate in the back. It literally, once you get the safety up and out, that retaining plate jiggles. You could lift it up, pivoting it up. So there's a hook this way over the back pin, and there's a hook this way over the front pin. So basically you just lift it up and then pull straight out. That'll come out, safety's out, push the pin out, trigger parts come out. ALG trigger goes in. Just put the trigger in. Don't put the disconnector in, don't put anything else in. Put the trigger in, put the pin back in. Put the safety back on. Flip the safety up and see if you can move the trigger. If you can, take it all back out, take the little roll pin that comes with the ALG, hammer it down into the right side of this trigger. There's a hole for it. Put it in as far in as you can. Like, take the trigger, put it up against a piece of wood or a piece of steel, and then tap the roll pin straight down until it bottoms out. Then put this back in, put the safety back on, flip it up again. If it doesn't flip all the way up, it's because the back of the safety is catching that pin. So what you're going to have to do is take it all back apart and start filing that pin down. Take a little bit at a time, sneak up on it. It's going to take some time. You're going to have to do it several times until you get it to finally clear. Get it to only just clear. Once you get that in there for like the 7th or 8th time, and it just clears when you flip this up, this trigger should be solid like this. Once you do that, take it back apart, put the disconnector spring and the disconnector in, drop the trigger in with it, You're gonna have to kind of jiggle and push down, wrestle that with one hand, push the pin in with the other. Once that's in, you can put the hammer back together. Make sure you pay attention to the orientation of the hook that goes around the back of the hammer. Put your 12 gauge shell over that, slip the new hammer back in, twist it 90 degrees, put the pin back in. Then put that retaining pin back in, and I think that's it. Yeah, and then the safety goes on, you just flip it. Then you do a function check. You can do a function check without the bolt. You just push the hammer down, hold it with your finger, see if this works. If it's locked like this, you're good. If you push it down like this, it should move. Sorry, just like this. That's all you get. In safety, nothing. Rock solid. So that's that. This is a Hogue, Ergo, Fatty, Pebble Stone, whatever the hell they want to call it, grip. I got these because I kind of like them on my revolvers. I've got pretty long fingers, and the finger grooves, actually, the shape of their finger grooves works with the shape of my hand. So I went with this because the Kalashnikov USA one is long, thin, smooth, and slippery. Not good for me. So once we got all that in there, the last thing is the brace. So if you get a KP-9 without the brace like I did, there's going to be a plate back here with a QD mount in the back, and it's quite thick. I was really surprised when I got it out. So anyway, let's flip this over. This pin here only fits one way. So when that plate is in there, what you want to do is you want to take a punch on the underside here, drive it upward toward the top of the gun, and you'll see there's a taper at the pin once you get it out. Once you get that out, I used a plastic punch, and I stuck it in the QD mount hole, and then you push this button down. It's really stiff at first. So what I ended up doing to break this loose the first time is I took one of those gunsmith hammers with the plastic cap on the end of it, and I just kind of tapped down on this, and then it finally started to wiggle. Push down on that, and then you take that plastic punch on the QD mount and just kind of wrench it upwards, and then once it pops out of this dovetail bit, once you get that out, then it's just installation of reverse or removal. So you take the brace, you stick it in there, you drive the pin in, tap it all the way down until it bottoms out, and then just do a function check. So you just push down on that, and you flip it over. So here's a picture of the dovetail back here. Let's see if I can get this in the camera. There's the dovetail back there. This is the little detent that button on the side actuates. Now, I've been told that there's fitment issues with these sometimes, where if you lock this down, that you've got some jiggle in your brace. Mine has zero jiggle. It's perfectly tight. However, if you install this and you've got a bit of jiggle, the solution is really simple. So we're going to flip this open, and you're going to go look in here, and basically what you want to do is you just want to put a couple layers of electrical tape right here. It's what the Ruskies do. So if you just put like one, maybe two pieces of tape here, it doesn't interfere with anything, nothing's ever going to touch it, it's never going to get affected by heat. Basically what you're doing is you're just adding a vinyl shim. So you just put a couple in there, flip that over, lock it down, and then try to jiggle it. And if it doesn't jiggle, you're good to go. I think that's it. That's pretty much all I've got for this gun. I started messing with this when I got home from work because all the parts had showed up. And by the time I started with a KP-9 with no nothing. It was just from here to here with the original stuff on it. From start to finish, this whole thing only took me about maybe an hour and a half. And I was just being careful, and I was asking lots of questions because I had friends who already did this. If you're really competent with gunsmithing or your tools or whatever, you can probably knock it out a whole lot quicker. If you want this grip, one thing to note, the Kalashnikov USA bolt that goes up in here is this long. If you get this Hogue grip, it's this long. So just make sure you use the one that comes with the grip. Also make sure that the grip mounting stud up in the receiver doesn't fall out. Keep your finger on top of it as you start to feed this in. If you're new to AKs, I've only had 2 in my whole life, so it was a learning experience for me. I'm sure most of you already know what you're doing. So anyway, this is going to the range probably tomorrow with my hand-loaded 124 grain powder-coated 9mm bullets, because you know there's an ammo shortage. If you decide to roll your own bullets, I get these from a company called Eggleston Munitions out in California. Great guy. He sets up email notifications if he runs out of stock. He was really gracious enough to text me personally before he let them go live, so I was able to buy a bunch of these, and he added the notification system right after that on my recommendation. So that's where I got the bullets from. You can get the once fired brass from just about any range. I think I got 1,500 pieces of brass for like $39. Primers are the hardest things to find right now, so I used a combination of small pistol and small pistol magnum. Honestly, in 9mm, I have not felt any appreciable difference in using either one. I typically use magnum primers in everything just because I've never seen a problem. So anyway, if you've been on AmmoSeek, you know how much 9mm costs right now. As of the date of this filming, I can make a box of 50 9mm for $5, $5.50. So if you're new to reloading, or if you are on the fence about it, there's your excuse to do it. $5.50, 50 rounds of 9mm. Takes maybe 30 or 40 minutes to do on a single stage press. I've got some reloading videos of other calibers. You can check that out. So that way you can get familiar with the process, because the process is more or less the same for pretty much every round. And if you look at my reloading in tight spaces video, which is my first video, you could see the setup, what you're going to need to do it. Highly recommend it, actually. Some of you are probably wondering about this sling here. I got this from a company called Acid Tactical. They were the only ones I had found that had this cool, like, I don't know, I call it like Spetsnaz camo blue or whatever they call it, urban camo. They were the only ones that had that pattern. It's a single point sling. I've been told that they're terrible, but I've never had one. I wanted those colors. The dual points I couldn't find with that material. And I went ahead and I ordered the plate that goes back here, but it didn't show up in time for this video. It'll just go on later. The only two other things I'm going to do to this gun as upgrades is I'm going to get the Krebs custom safety, because it would be kind of nice to have, there's a notch cut into it back here, so you can pull the bolt back and lock it with the safety lever, which some ranges require you to lock it open. So you're going to want to do that unless you want to carry chamber flags all day, which I don't. This gun this gun does not have last round bolt hold open, so that might be a deal killer for you. Maybe it won't be. You know, you've got options. You can either have this, which is a one-to-one true authentic clone from the company who built it, Vityaz, in semi-auto. You can make it just as fast as a full auto practically with this trigger. And I was told that there's a silver version of this trigger, which is even more ridiculous. I'm sorry, 2 pounds is already scary as it is. It's going to be great to shoot. It's going to be super fast. This thing bump fires on your hip like it's nobody's business. So I wanted to do an echo trigger on this, but honestly, this is fine. You know, gun is fine. So anyway, here's the here's the KP-9. So if you want one, go get one. Supplies are limited. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you like what you see here, hit the old like button, share it, subscribe it, tell your friends, hide your kids, hide your wife, hide your wallet, because I will help you spend your money on stuff like this. This is one of the nicest things I bought this year. I have no regrets. I'm in debt up to my eyeballs. I don't give a crap. I love it. It's great. I can't wait to take this out. I want to get my cheeky breeky on. I want to get my Spetsnaz on. I want to prove that I am better Russian than all other fake Russians on YouTube. Thank you for watching. We'll see you later. До свидания.